What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the episode of Seek on the Speed 252. And you guys asked me, why did my C8 Mid Engine Corvette have a lot of miles on it? Well, probably because of the reason why right now I'm driving this bad boy. I'm going to explain to you the reason why I put a crap ton of miles on my 2020 C8 Mid Engine Corvette. You might be shocked for a few of them. Let's go. Well, howdy, folks. You are on the Seek on the Speed 252 show. Scroll over to the right and click that subscribe button. What's up, you guys? Yes, I do have a lot of miles on my 2020 C8 Mid Engine Corvette. Now, as you guys know, who's been a part of this channel since day one, I took delivery of my 2020 C8 Mid Engine Corvette on March the 12th from the Corvette Museum Delivery in Kentucky. When I actually picked the car up, I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to drive it back. Now, a lot of you guys are like, why didn't you drive it back? That was a perfect drive back home. Well, on the way back home that day, it stormed, it rained. If you go back and watch the delivery video, I'm telling you right now, it rained a lot that day. I was taking delivery of it. And so I had actually decided to trailer the car back. But I knew that once I got the car back home, that I was going to put a crap ton of miles on it anyway, so it made no sense to waste that extra mile driving back from the plant all the way back home when I knew that mile was going to be put to use anyways. So a lot of you guys asked me, why does my 2020 C8 Mid Engine Corvette has a lot of miles on it? Before I get into this video, a lot of you guys are going to ask me, and I know previous guy asked me in lots of other videos, why do I keep saying 2020 C8 Mid Engine Corvette? Well, I do it because it's a YouTube thing. It's not because I enjoy saying it all the time, which I sort of kind of do, but it's a YouTube thing. You know, YouTube wants us to actually speak the words numerous times so they can actually figure out what our videos are about. Just like, you know, people say, you know, Alexa can hear you from the other room. When you got your cell phones in your pocket, they can hear you in your pocket, things like that. YouTube is the same way. YouTube reads and understands everything I say in this video, which is why they can demonetize things, which is why they can change whatever rules they kind of want to change. So for YouTube purposes, I have to keep saying 2020 C8 Mid Engine Corvette. My car has roughly 4,600 and maybe 43 miles on it, I believe. You know, when I first bought this car, I didn't think that I was going to drive it as much during quarantine time, just because of the fact that it's quarantine time, right? We were all told to stay in our houses for at least a minimum of, you know, 14 days at one point, depending on if you were sick. Some were told to stay in their house for a month, 2 months. You know, the only thing you can really do is go outside in your yard and, you know, water your grass, mow your lawn, plant your plants, you know, make vegetable gardens, whatever the case may be. For 2 months, you wasn't really allowed to do anything. I know in my area, we wasn't allowed to do nothing. Nothing was open. People wasn't doing anything. People wasn't going places. The only thing you was able to do was pretty much go to the grocery store and go home. And, you know, a lot of people was like, oh, gas is dirt cheap. Gas is dirt cheap. Yeah, gas was dirt cheap, but there wasn't anything that was open for us to drive to a lot. Like, yeah, I mean, gas was dirt cheap, but where can you go? It wasn't like I can drive from here to Florida. If I could, I mean, I would have, but it wasn't going to allow me to do anything or have any fun there. And so a lot of people say, well, where all these miles came from? And these miles came from just from me enjoying the car since owning it since, you know, March 12th. It's been one of those things where it has sucked, you know, a little bit by owning this car during this quarantine time, because I haven't been able to enjoy it to its fullest. It's one of those things where, you know, you can actually probably get a ticket these days for driving your car at one point during the quarantine phase, because you wasn't really supposed to leave your house unless you was going for essential items. And I do know that, you know, the roads was clear. You know, a lot of people started driving their cars a lot more often that had, you know, sports cars and motorcycles, because there wasn't anybody on the road. I mean, I seen in video, might post it here, when you saw a cop literally sitting in his car and on the top it says COVID-19, and you hear a motorcycle go shoo, and he looks at the motorcycle and was like, yep. I understand. You know, you just needed to get out of the house. And for me, I'm a very, like, I'm an extrovert, right? I love people. I love being around people. I get my energy from people. I thrive on being around people. That's the reason why I started a YouTube channel in the first place. You know, like, I'm not shy. When I first started this channel, I was shy. You can go back to my very first upload ever, And look at that first video compared to me now. I was completely camera shy. That first 2 episodes, I was shy, but now I'm all excited about. I mean, I can't wait to push the button. I can't wait to, talk to my audience. I can't wait to see you guys' comments. I can't wait to respond to you guys. I can't wait to talk about the car. Like, it's insane. Like, think about it. Right now, I currently own one of the rarest cars right now, which is the 2020 C8, but I only own it, and it's rare because Chevrolet haven't built that many of them. The strike happened, right, which was back in last year when my car was actually supposed to have been built, I think December 3rd, which was the first day that they was gonna start building 2020 C8 Mid Engine Corvettes. Then the strike happened, and then that pushed things back to where nobody knew when they was getting the car. And then I got, an update saying my car was gonna be built February 3rd. And that was the case. My car was built pretty much 2 months later, but that also still mean that my car needed to wait till the quality control hole and all that great stuff. And that also pushed the car behind. A lot of people is going to say, like, the strike happening, Chevrolet going mid-engine, the pandemic was all a bad sign for the mid-engine sports car, but no, I don't think so. I think it depends on how you guys look at it. Based off this video, the reason why I'm going to tell you I have a lot of miles in this car is you're going to understand that I don't think the strike nor the pandemic was a bad thing for the 2020 C8 Corvette anyways. If you generally ask me, I think it helped a lot of you guys' cars who was actually in the market for a 2020 Corvette. Like, I kind of hope you guys understand why I'm going to say this. So I have, like I said, 4,464 miles in this car, roughly, somewhere in that area. That is a lot of miles between, March 12th, April 12th, June 12th, and that's pretty much 3 months, right? And most people usually drive anywhere between, they say average, 12 to 15,000 miles a year. So I'm not too far from that. When I first got this car, like I said, it was parked in the garage for a few days. I was really excited about owning this car. There wasn't many places I can drive it to. Granted, gas was cheap. I mean, gas that I normally get at the time was like, $2.97 at the time during pandemic, which is still sort of kind of the pandemic. Gas went down to, like, for this car, like $1.80. So at that point I was driving even more because I was forcing myself to get to the house because I wanted to do something. I was going nuts, right? And so I went on a couple of back paths, paths to drive the car on, back roads, country roads, what do you want to call it, with swervies up and down the hills, what the case may be. And I wanted to get out and enjoy this bad boy. And so, yes, I did put a ton of miles on my car, and all you guys like, man, you definitely letting that car sit in the garage. Well, this isn't a garage queen. Chevrolet built this car for people to drive, for people to see. It's not a Bugatti. It's not a Koenigsegg. It's not a, it's not one of those cars. It's a car that Chevrolet built for people to be able to enjoy it and have a great time with it with other people. Like I said before, I could not enjoy it with other people because it was pandemic time, but I was able to enjoy it by myself, which kind of sucks, but it was still nice to be behind a mid-engine sports car. You guys don't understand. This mid-engine platform is no joke. No joke. These videos you guys be seeing on YouTube of the C8 Corvette, like coming off launch, beating other cars right away, and other cars having to catch up to it. That's serious. That is real talk. And this car is not even all-wheel drive. It's just because the motor is planted over the back wheel tires. Imagine one Chevrolet builds a Z06, and that probably won't even be all-wheel drive. It'd probably be just, rear-wheel drive, but the motor being over the tires is going to make it that much better. I mean, the C8 Stingray was literally beating other sports cars. And it's the C8 Stingray. It's not even the Z06, nor the Z01, nor the Zora. It was crushing these cars, you guys. So I can't wait to see what Chevrolet has to have in store for this car. And I already put 4,400 miles on this car. I can't wait to put tons of miles on the other vehicles if I can afford it when that time comes. But I will say this. Owning this car has been great. Every mile brought a smile. And I can literally tell you right now, every time that odometer goes up, I get happier every time because I'm able and I'm blessed to be behind the wheel of a mid-engine sports car. And as you guys know before, my whole goal was to always own a mid-engine sports car, but I never knew as a kid that Chevrolet was going to make a mid-engine sports car. I mean, I didn't grow up thinking that. I never even thought I was going to own a Corvette. I had a Nissan Sentra. And that was one of my cars. I had a Ford, 1989 Ford Topaz. That was my only Ford vehicle. Now I kind of have a Ford Fusion, which I bought it for $1,000. Yeah, it works okay. But I never thought I was going to own a mid-engine sports car, not even my C7 Corvette, you know. And it's one of those things where the reason I put a lot of miles in this car is because I enjoyed it. But another reason why I put a lot of miles in this car, you guys gonna be surprised, is because of you guys. Number of reasons why, right? I put miles in this car to be able to talk about this car, to be able to explain the reasons why I stand behind this brand, I stand behind this car, I stand behind this make, I stand behind this model, I stand behind every inch that I drove this car. Another reason why I decided to put this many miles on it, because Chevrolet reached out to me and said, hey man, why are you letting the car sit in the garage? I'm thinking like, man, you know, it's raining outside, quarantine time, my friends ain't available, I can't go see them. And you know the first thing the engineer said to me? Every weather is Corvette weather. And I'm thinking like, but what about the snow? Well, I kid you not, that engineer sent me a picture of him driving his 2020 C8 Mid Engine Corvette convertible, which was his car demo, I guess, in the snow. In the snow. He had a white convertible with yellow seatbelts driving that bad boy in the snow. And he literally tells me Corvette weather is always available. And for me, I'm thinking like, no, because the difference is I make a monthly payment on this bad boy and I don't have snow tires. Now, granted, we don't get that much snow here, but I don't feel brave enough to drive this car in the snow whatsoever. If this car was able to make it in the snow like a normal car would, possibly, but at that same time, that's still a big risk. I can't risk driving this car in the snow. I don't have a problem driving in the rain, which I know you guys would be like, well, if you drive in the rain, it depreciates a little bit more, stuff like that. I don't believe in that stuff, but I cannot risk driving this car in the rain. I mean, in the snow. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. So for all the engineers that drive your car in the snow, I know you're doing it because you enjoy doing it. I know you're doing it because you're testing it. I love you guys. I love this car, but I can't take that chance to drive it in the snow. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I can do it in the rain, but I just can't do the snow. With all the ice and the salt and all that stuff, I just can't do it. Granted, you know, we don't put that much salt down because we don't get a lot of snow, but that's still a risk that I'm not willing to take. But the reason why I have put so many miles in this car is because I want to make sure if this car does have any issues that Chevrolet knows about it before you guys get your 2020 C8s, because I want you guys to be able to ask me open-ended questions about this car so you understand everything you need to know when your car arrives to your dealership or to your home. And it's one of those things where Chevrolet reached out to me and asked me about the calibers. They asked me, you know, do people think these are yellow calibers or what do they call them? And some people thought it was Accelerate yellow calibers, but no, they're really just yellow calibers with a hint of green in them. They're not the same color as my seat belts. My seat belts to me look like yellow. These are like yellow calibers with a hint of green in it. If you was up to them closely in person, you will notice that there are two different colors, but from a distance, they look like they match each other, which is the way I want it to be. I did try a number of options, right? When I built this car, spec'd this car out, I decided to go with the red seat belts and yellow calibers. To me, that worked, but it was too much red for me. I wanted something that was gonna look a little bit different, right? Like if I put the red calibers on this and the red seat belts, imagine that for a few seconds here, it'll look great. Everything will look fine. But I got red there, and red there. That's too much red. I had to break it up a little bit. Now, when most people see this car, as I said numerous times in probably almost every video, that people think this is a Ferrari because of the natural interior, because of the yellow calibers, because of the yellow seatbelts. And that's not the look I was going for, but we all know that's a great color combination. I think it looks freaking phenomenal. Now, I think the natural interior is an interior that a lot of people love. I mean, that people call it the natural interior, the caramel interior, the butternut interior. List goes on and on and on of what this interior is called because people just love it that much. And I think it goes well with this car. Every mile has been a smile with this vehicle. I mean, from letting some of my friends drive it, to letting some of my friends just get on a passenger seat with me, just enjoy it because they didn't want to drive it. It's just been a great car to share with other people. And like I said before, the reason I put a lot of miles in this car is so that way if something goes wrong in a period of time you're driving this car, one, I get fixed on a warranty because I have 3-year 36,000 miles, but two, I'm able to report back to Chevrolet and say, hey Chevrolet, these are the issues I'm having with the 2020 C8 Mid Engine Corvette. What do you guys think is the problem? What should I do next? And those guys have been responsible if I had any issues with any of my Corvettes. They personally reached out to me and asked me questions. So that's Chevrolet doing their job, you know. And I want to make sure that when you guys get your 2020 C8 Mid Engine Corvettes, whether it's 2020 or 2021, and although you guys send me a lot of emails saying you're not exactly sure which one your car will fall into, I want to make sure you guys have a perfect car. So when you guys are meeting us out on the road or you're waving, the first thing we can talk about is how much we enjoy this car and not how much you hate this car. Because the last thing I need as for people to have a misunderstanding that the Chevrolet C8 Corvette is a piece, because it's not a piece. It's an awesome piece of machine to drive. I can tell you that right now. It's a beautiful machine to drive. And I know like some people gonna have their opinion. There's so many people in the world who's planning on buying this car, and there's gonna be some people who get this car and be like, it's not what I thought. I don't see how it's not what you thought, because the C7 to me was a freaking phenomenal Corvette, and the C8 Mid Engine Corvette tops it. It's one of those things where some people think when the C7 is parked beside the C8, they make each other look outdated, but I don't think so. I think the C7 looks really great. That rear end of the C7 is phenomenal. The way the front hood looks, the way it looks, oh my gosh, the C7 Corvette is great. But the C8, man, is just on a different level. Like, it really makes you feel like you're driving an exotic car. And people ask me all the time, like, which one do you prefer the most? Which one you love to drive? Well, they can go back and forth. Clearly, I have 26,000 miles on my C7. I still got the car alongside the C8, so I enjoy my C7 for sure, and there's reasons why I do enjoy it, because I made it my own. But it depends on the look you're going for. If I'm going for that nice daily drive, you're driving a front-end car, I want to take the Grand Sport to the track, I want to kind of enjoy it a little bit, then I'm going to the Grand Sport. If I want to get in something that looks exotic, people are confused on what it is when they see it, you know, something that you heard the motor behind you, you feel planes on the road at all times, you feel like if somebody come up beside you and floor with them, you will immediately take off, and none of that side to sideness, then you want the C8. Because all day long people think this is a Ferrari, people think it's a Lamborghini, people think all that stuff. I had somebody walk up to the car one time and was like, hey man, hey, do your doors go up? I guess they didn't know what a Lamborghini was at the time, but they just wanted to know if the doors go up, because to them it looks exotic. When you see a car this shape, this body form, you immediately think it's an exotic supercar, and there's nothing wrong with that. That makes you want to drive it even more. I can't even tell you right now how many miles I'm going to have on the end of this by the end of the year. Right now I have 4,400, like I said, 64 miles on it. It's a half of the year, so I still have a half of the year to go. And I could put, by the end of this year, I could have 12,000 miles on it and probably won't even think about it. You know why? Because every mile has been a smile. And that's just the way I see it, man. You guys, there's been nothing bad to say about this car since owning it in 2020, other than not being able to enjoy it much more and put many more miles on it. I'm looking forward to some of you guys getting your car, because I want to know, if you guys may have any issue with your cars. I want to know what you guys have done in your car. What is your first mod to your car? Any of you guys is right now that's getting the 2020 C8 Corvette, what is your first mod you planning to do to your car? I'm kind of curious. I want to know. We all have our great minds. We all think alike in some ways. We all think different in some ways. And I want to know, what is your first step, your first plan for your 2020 C8 Mid Engine Corvette? Because I can tell you right now, when you get behind the wheel of that bad boy, you are going to love each and every part of it. It's going to be one of those things where you're not going to be able to deny. You're not going to be able to want to get out of it. You're going to want to drive it every single day. You want to make an excuse for why you're driving the car that day. I can tell you that right now. I was sitting in my house one day and I was watching TV. And I was like, man, I need to go to the store and get me some bubble gum. I drove to the store just to get some bubble gum. I just wanted to drive it. I literally just wanted to drive the car. One day I'm sitting on the couch and I'm thinking like, man, I think I need some Q-tips. I drove to the store to get some Q-tips. I had plenty of Q-tips at home. I just wanted some more Q-tips. I just wanted to drive the car. I mean, you just make stupid reasons for why you really want to drive the car. And I'm not mad at you about that. I am not mad at you about that. And, once again, I'm going to say this a million times. Every mile brings a smile to my face. Every mile brings a smile to someone else's face. Every mile brings a shot look to everybody else's face. Once you guys get your Corvettes and you're driving down the road, trust and believe, you're going to see so many people like, every single time. I'm telling you that right now, you're going to get some of the most looks you have ever seen. And it's going to be because you're driving something that looks like an exotic car to them. And that's completely fine. Because you got people appreciating something that you work hard for. Yes, you work hard for. I'm telling you right now, you guys, I cannot wait to experience this car with you guys. I cannot wait to experience driving this car with you guys in a parade, at an event, showing up at Cars and Coffee, having a great conversation, and just talking about Corvettes in general. It's been a joy to own this car, and it's been freaking great. And I'm looking forward to driving this car many more times with you guys. And I don't know why he keep beeping the horn. I think he might be doing it on purpose. Anyways, guys, I'm telling you right now, this car has been great to own, and I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. I greatly appreciate your support on the channel, and I greatly appreciate everything you have done for me. And guys, you know, keep putting miles in your car, whether you got a C7, C8, or you got a C6, C5, C4, C3, and so forth and so forth. Honda, what the case may be, keep putting miles on that bad boy. Just keep driving. If you guys haven't had a chance to go over to my website, definitely please do so at www.cgonaspeed252.com. Here's a shirt that is on my website. I enjoy wearing this myself. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys wear them as well. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys wear them at events. I'm looking forward to just seeing you guys in general. I'm tired of being quarantined. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. So that being said, have a great day. Keep putting miles in your car. Keep putting smiles on your faces. Whatever you're doing to make yourself happy, keep doing it. Thank you again for pushing that play button. I will catch you in the episode of C8 Speed 252.